I had my first Bigfoot encounter. Ready to hear about it? Hello everyone, it's Leah at Pen to Paper. How are you doing? I'm so glad you're here today. Oh my goodness. It's my cat. His ass gonna come inside. That freaked me out. I just saw something launch itself at the window. Hold on. Look at this fluffy gorgeousness. This is Olaf, my cat. The one who literally launched himself at the window. That creeped me out so much. I mean, I've heard some weird noises in here. Obviously from the wind, storms, but nothing like that. That really is really scary. I guess it goes with the Bigfoot theme. Okay, so Agatha Christie is such an intuitive writer, and all of her mysteries have excellence to them. My favorites so far are Death on the Nile and Sleeping Murder, but this rivals them. All I can say, it actually reminded me a lot of Knives Out, if any of you have seen the movie. I wonder almost as if it took inspiration from this book. We have Roger Ackroyd comes into the possession of a secret, and he is murdered the same night that he finds out about the secret. And the narrator is a local country doctor who, over the course of time, finds out about Hercule Poirot, is now in retirement, and helps Hercule Poirot find out who the killer is. And there are secrets. Many of the characters wanted something from Roger Ackroyd, and it's just written flawlessly. The end, mind-blowing. Who is the actual murderer? And I was so proud of myself when I finally figured it out. I figured it out maybe like 2/3 of the way. I was so happy. This is incredibly good. It's a murder mystery. I wouldn't say it's a cozy murder mystery. I mean, it could be termed that, but I find it's definitely edgy enough to not almost be termed that. This is highly, you have to read this. That's all I'm going to say. 5 stars. Amazing. Another read. I'm going to talk about my audiobook reads. I listened to them. One was The Murderer's Son by Joy Ellis. This I actually began at the beginning of the year, and I got it on Audible. And for some reason, I just didn't listen to it all the way through. I mainly got it because Richard Armitage, who's my favorite actor, also does Audible books, and he did this one, and it was a murder mystery, so I really wanted to listen to it. So it's really hard to put the story into framework, basically, from what I remember from the beginning. As I said, it was stretched over a long period of time. There were 2 murderers, and they're looking specifically at a young man who is the son of a murderer, and he is suspicious on many different counts, but in the end, you find out whether he is actually the one or not. Richard Armitage does a fantastic job with all the voices. Really do feel transported when I'm listening to it in the moment, even though I listened to it over a long period of time. Every time that I turned it on, I was back in, even though I may not have remembered everything, but I enjoyed the experience every time. And it had a good ending. It had a just ending. I gave it 4 stars. And another audiobook that I listened to was The 6 Habits of Growth by Brendon Burchard. Now, you may have heard me talk about Brendon Burchard a little bit. He is the world's highest leading high-performance coach. And this book, he did a special deal with Audible. He didn't actually write the book. That's the amazing thing about this audiobook. Everything that is said extemporaneously. I think I'm saying that word correctly. But it sounds like he wrote this book, but he didn't write any of it. He's just speaking on the fly, and yet he's done this for 10 to 15 years. He is a genius when it comes to it. It's a personal development book, 6 Habits of Growth. If you feel that you need growth in your life, you love audiobooks, you want genius in your life, please give this a listen by Brendan Burchard. 5 stars. What else did I read? I do have my Bigfoot here in a second. Oh yes, one more. I don't have it here with me because I borrowed it from my friend and then I gave it back. But it's called Tribe on Homecoming and Belonging by Sebastian Junger. And it describes the human condition of needing a community, a reason to gather and belong to. So he highlighted a lot of statistics and some personal stories about how war brought people together, difficult times, and how it's a catalyst to closer knit communities when you have a reason to gather together or rally together against something or for something. It was shorter than I thought it would be. I thought, oh, that's great. It's a short book. I can read this quickly. However, at the end, although he provided a lot of statistics, a lot of personal stories, I felt like he didn't just quite dig deep enough. So it's a great table read. It's a great appetizer into engaging into the discussion of how humanity deals with hard times and the complacency of good times. But I think I would have preferred maybe another 50 to 75 pages just to kind of round it out to 200. I think there could have been a little bit more depth. So I gave that one 4 stars. It's definitely a nonfiction read. So I had a bunch of nonfiction this month. It was fun. And now the last one, Bigfoot. Beasts of the Caliber Lodge by L.J. Daugherty. I got this from L.J. earlier this year as well. And I meant to read it in January, and I just didn't get to it. And finally, I got to it. It's about this man named Jimmy Knotts. He is a Nazi hunter after World War II, 1965. He is hunting down this mastermind who was cruel not only to the Jewish people, but to his own people, and was right under Hitler, and he escapes. He thwarts Jimmy Knotts' plan to take him in and disappears off the radar for many, many years. And then Jimmy Knotts and his colleagues find out that he is now has a new name. What's that word? I'm just going to say new name. And he's gone to this Caliber Lodge, which is a very high profile, only, you have to sign so many waivers saying that you're not going to speak of your experience there because it's dangerous. It's a one-of-a-kind lifetime excitement. And so Jimmy Knotts is given this character that he has to pretend to be an oil millionaire guy that goes to Caliber Lodge along with the very small group, and basically they are promised this animal, this thing to hunt that is unlike anything they've ever seen. And sure enough, there's Bigfoot. I really enjoyed this book because it fleshed out how species go against another species and what is the morality behind that. So there was a deeper underlying theme of this book. It was action-packed, a lot in the beginning. In the end, the only thing I would say is there was a lot of lull in the middle, and it was for good reason. He was setting up, he was sharing the backstory, but I felt that perhaps the backstory and the deeper explanations could have been sprinkled out more throughout the action. But overall, a very great, thrilling read. I am looking forward. I think Primal Reserve is the sequel to this, I believe. I'm looking forward to reading about that. Not about that. I'm looking forward to reading it. And that's it for this month. Last month. This month, what I'm reading right now is The Last Train to Key West. I forget the author's name. I'm loving it so far, but I'll save that for my reviews at the end of the month. What else am I reading? I'm also reading Transformations by Alexander Michael. Yes. And I also need to finish reading The Last Train to Impossible Places by P.G. Bell. So I'm just kind of reading a lot of leftovers that I meant to read in October that I just didn't get to. I did receive a book from Nikki at Dark Between Pages. It's called It Comes from the Veil, or It Came from the Veil. And it's an anthology of horror stories. So I'm sure I'll pick that up sometime in the new year. What else in the bookish news? Oh yes, I will tell you about the December readathon that I'm joining. It is headed up, Leslie at the Nerdy Narrative is co-heading it up with other booktube channels. It's so much fun. I listened to the announcement video. I'm going to stick it down in the description below. I can't wait to be a part of this. You win prizes. You get points for the books that you read, and then you can win prizes. It's so exciting. I love contests. The first readathon I did was the Olympic readathon. It was so much fun. I can't wait to get back into the spirit of readathon, especially for Christmas. And all of the prompts are guided by Santa's reindeer names like Prancer, Dancer, and Rudolph, and so on and so forth. So I'll link that down below so you can check out the announcement. And if you want some great Christmas readathon fun, then join us there. Already, I'm Team Mistletoe, which is really cool. I've never even kissed under a mistletoe, so I'm not even sure why I'm in this team. But anyways, what was your favorite read of October? What are you enjoying reading now this month? Tell me below down in the comments. If you like this video, give it a like. Subscribe to the channel for more AuthorTube and BookTube, and I'll see you next week.